Hi, Ray here. I'm glad you could join me. This video is third in the series on my video rig for the Nikon Z6. Part 1 looked at the basic rig with SmallRig components, tying everything together. The second part added the SmallRig mini follow focus and mini matte box. In this video, I'm going to complete the rig with a power solution for all components that require it. So the camera, the Ninja V monitor recorder, and the external audio recorder, the Tascam DR60D Mark II. At the center of this rig is the SmallRig cage that fits the Nikon Z6, Z7, Z6 II, and Z7 II. And here I'll try to clear up any confusion that I might have inadvertently caused over the course of these videos. The cage that I have is numbered 2972. And SmallRig have no less than 3 cages for the existing Z cameras, and they've just announced one for the Z9. In the last video, I incorrectly referred to this cage as the 2243, which is still available from some retailers. The newest design to mine on the SmallRig website right now is the 2926. And then there's the 2824. Anyway, the 2926 is carried by B&H and Vistec in Canada. Vistec also still carries the 2972. I'm guessing the difference is that the 2926 has a minor design change that adapts it also to fit the Z5. There's also the CCN2499 for the Z50. I hope that clears things up rather than further confuses the issue. Suffice to say, there's plenty of choices from SmallRig for the Z series cameras. I have all the components I've used here listed in the description below, and I have links from all of them to B&H Photo and a couple of Amazon links where you can buy the components if you're so inclined. Full disclosure, I get a small commission if you do purchase via those affiliate links, which helps me keep making content like this. Aside from that, as in the other rig videos, I bought all these parts with my own money. This isn't a sponsored video. Perhaps it's a good idea at this point to build the rig up from scratch. Starting with the universal 15mm rail support system baseplate 2272. I have a Manfrotto plate on that to slide into this old still video head. The baseplate is Swiss Arca dovetail, and I have the appropriate plate on the cage here. Before we mount the Z6 on the base plate, I've installed the SmallRig dummy battery EL153247. This allows us to power the camera from the external power source. And first thing, we need to push aside the little rubber tab at the edge of the battery compartment to route the cable from the dummy battery. There's a corresponding channel in the dummy battery, so we simply form the cable into these channels carefully around the compartment door. Careful not to pop the door off, though it's not difficult to reinstall if you do so. And snap the door into place. Note that I'm using the SmallRig support 2244 for the Nikon FTZ lens adapter on this F-mount 24-70 2.8 lens. So we'll mount the camera on the plate. It's quite a simple job. So the first components we're going to use with this is this SmallRig V-mount adapter plate with adjustable arm 3204, which comes with 8 volt DC to 12 volt DC, 14.8 volt DTAP, and 5 volt 2 amp USB output port. And it also has a master power button, which is really handy. And the battery I chose is this lithium ion battery. And there's various branded and unbranded versions of this economy battery available from various sellers, and I'll put a link to one down in the description below. So in order of assembly here, the first thing that I want to slide onto the rails at the back here is the Tascam DR60D Mark II recorder. And we'll slide that onto the rails here. And the only thing that I've run into here now is these are the 12-inch rods, carbon fiber rods. And that doesn't really now allow me any room to be able to see the rear screen, the touch screen of the Nikon Z6. So I'm going to get longer rails. Now we can attach our battery mount. And what I have on here is the D-tap to locking DC 5.5 2.1 Atomos monitor power cable, so that I can use this with the module that came with the Atomos Ninja V. So we'll just leave that for a minute, and let's mount our Atomos Ninja V. I'll turn around here so you can see just barely enough clearance there on the desk. So we can stick that here on the built-in NATO rail, and let's just plug that into the camera. Okay, so why don't we just put on our battery now, slot that in. And one of the main reasons I chose this particular battery plate is the amount of orientations that we can have right here with this innovative rail, or whatever you want to call it here. So that's great. And let's just tighten that up a bit more. So we're getting there now. Before we move on, there's just one more item that I want to mention, and that's this V-mount to Sony NPF style battery adapter plate, which we can use in place of this V-mount battery. Like yay. Like yay. That's a Canadianism. And you can see we have power. So I haven't tested how long these batteries will last. Certainly this 95 watt-hour 6600 milliamp V-mount battery should, going on reports, give me a full day shooting anything that I might need. And until I get my hands on more of the V-mount batteries like this, this will certainly be a good backup. As I mentioned, this is a 95 watt V-mount battery, and quite often you'll see 98. The reason being that under 100 watts you can carry on an airplane, and these are really good. They last quite a long time. You're only going to want something stronger or more powerful, I should say, if you're, say, powering lights and things like that. But for a rig like this, 98 watt-hour is plenty good enough. Let's move to the front, and I already have this adapter here, which is in the case of, for this lens here, it's 77 to 95 millimeters. So we can just slide our matte box on, and we have that straight, close enough for now. So there's our matte box. Now let's start with the follow focus. We'll slide that on first and line it up with the gear ring. Tighten that up. That's working. And the next thing I want to do here is just pop on this, I think this is called the universal lens support. So we'll pop that on. Do we have that the right way? Yep. We'll pop that on there. Tighten it down. Snug that support up. Oh, we need to go back a little bit further. to line things up. There we go. So we've got our lens support. What do we do next? Okay, well, let's put on the mic, and this is the Rode NTG2 shotgun microphone, which we'll put on the cold shoe mount here on our cage. And this here is the SmallRig shock mount support. So we've got that, and so we can start adding some cables to the unit here. So let's start off by powering the Tascam DR60D Mark II. And so we just use a little USB. This is a mini to USB 2, is it? So we've got that there. Let's get our XLR cord ready to roll. We're going to have to do some cable management here in a minute, but we can plug that in then to the Tascam. There we go. Again, cable management, let's quickly just flop that over there for now. And so now, in terms of plugging things in to the power source itself, in terms of the camera, we want our 8 volt here. This is our 8 volt. Here's our USB. Again, cable management will be needed. And as I said, this is simply the, what do they call this? The battery eliminator. So we're into the Tascam now. We're pretty much ready to roll. This has a master power switch here, so we can switch that on. And we're really ready to go. We can turn on our Tascam recorder here. It's asking me if I want to use the bus power. I say yes, that's turned on. The Atomos, I'll turn that on. It's firing up. There go the fans. And of course, the camera. And there we have it. You're looking through the camera. We're all ready to roll. Oh, it's asking me if I want to use phantom power for the mic, and I do. So we could start recording now. There's the whole rig. I mean, I threw this together pretty quickly. There'll be some slight adjustments, and again, definitely needs some cable management. As I said in the first video, to lighten the load for run and gun situations, I often make use of the Rode Wireless Go system, recording directly into the camera. And obviously this isn't a run and gun rig, and it isn't conceived as such. It has proved itself though for some of the kind of work I do, political rallies, those long-winded speeches, and of course it becomes essential for time-lapse and long exposure work. So I hope you found this series useful. Give this video a thumbs up if you did, and please consider subscribing to my channel if you're new here. And check out the rest of the series right here. Until the next time, take care of yourselves. Cheers, and we'll see you later.